Relationships are not meant to make you happy. They are the icing on the cake, okay? And so we have to make sure that we are bringing our full self into the relationship and maintaining that throughout the relationship so that we don't end up waking up one day, 5 months, 6 months down the road, 10 years down the road and wondering who and where did I go? Ladies, so today I want to talk about losing yourself in a relationship, or the fear of losing yourself in a relationship. This is actually a really, really common thing that can happen, or that women are afraid can happen when they start falling into that place of finding someone that they really love and really are attracted to. And I want to really unpack this concept a little bit so that, one, you can know that you're not alone if you're feeling this way, and two, to start bringing awareness to this situation and to this fear so that you don't fall into these traps. And I think that one of the first parts that I want to talk about with this is recognizing just how easy it is to fall into this place of forgetting who we are in the presence of someone that we're really attracted to, right? Let me just set the stage here. You've been single for a while, doing your thing, you're rocking it at life, you're having a great time, right? And then bam, someone amazing comes into your life and you're just like, hot damn, he is amazing. He checks all the boxes, right? And usually what happens is our brain starts coming in going like, he's gorgeous and he's got a good job and he makes me laugh and he's got sexy abs and he's got this and he's got this and he's got this and oh my gosh, and right? And we just start spinning out of control into this place of the future pacing, right? We start thinking about how we're gonna, move in together and how he's gonna be amazing and all these things. And usually in those first few dates, it's like everything's going great. And you really are seeing that this could be something good. And we start to really form attachment bonds. Whether we want to or not, even if we were the most cool for school person before we met them, this little anxious crazy girl can start to come in as she starts realizing like, holy crap, I think I really like this guy. Holy crap, I think this could be really something special here. And if this is you, it's okay, but it's really important to recognize this and see this for what this is, right? We get into this place of excitement, and maybe this is at the point where you start telling all your girlfriends about it. Oh my God, I just found the one, he's amazing, he does this, he does that, all the stuff, right? And we start to get into this place of realizing like, I don't know how I could live my life without him. Like, this is it. Like, this is a sign from the universe. He's here, right? So we start to really anchor into this place of seeing how this path is unfolding. And what can happen, what can get really dangerous, is we start to lock in on that as an attachment, right? It's like, this is the path forward. I can't have it any other way. Like, this is what I want. And then what we can do is that as things continue to progress, if things start to get shaky, or if you start to have sort of like inklings and feelings like maybe he's not fully feeling you in the ways that he was, this is where we start to sacrifice and sabotage ourselves in the process, right? Even if you are a super powerful, self-confident, driven, amazing woman, even women like that, even me, myself in the past, this can happen. We start to just sacrifice little bits of ourselves. And it can be really, really simple, right? It could be like, well, I don't want to make plans with my girlfriends on Friday night because he might call and I really want to spend time with him because I haven't seen him all week, right? So we don't make time with our girlfriends, and then he doesn't call and we're sitting at home on a Friday night and we're like, that doesn't feel good, right? Or it could be the little things like he makes a slight comment about how he really loves the way that you wear, your hair a certain way, and all of a sudden you want to always wear your hair that way, or you want to dress certain ways, right? Or just do things to start to please him because you know that those things make him happy. On the surface, these things don't seem like anything, they seem harmless, right? They don't seem like a big deal. But if we're not careful, these things can start to pile up, and these things can start to add up, and next thing we know, we don't even recognize who we are anymore in the relationship. And this is where I think that a lot of women can be a little bit nervous about actually letting themselves fall in love because we're afraid of losing ourselves in the process. And this is why, right? Because we get into this place of being really, really afraid of really giving ourselves to someone and really allowing someone to fully be with us, that if they were to walk away, that would be terrifying, right? And so to make sure that that doesn't happen, we start to sacrifice little bits of ourselves that we think they don't like so that we can hold on to the potential of the relationship. So if this is something that you've noticed in your own life, I want you to comment down below and highlight some of the things that maybe you've stopped doing, or things that you've noticed yourself maybe shifting from the ways that you were in the past that don't really necessarily feel fully in alignment, just to start bringing awareness to what may be actually happening here. And knowing that sometimes this can be a really good thing, right? Sometimes we can grow and evolve in ways that actually highlight more of our better traits and become a better version of ourselves with our partner, with this person in front of us. So it's not always necessarily a bad thing, but when we're specifically talking about losing ourselves, this is really the part that just to bring awareness to, is understanding, where am I potentially sacrificing pieces of myself in order to keep this relationship going, right? So whether it's canceling on girlfriends, whether it's stopping doing hobbies that maybe you used to do in the past, whether it's maybe, limiting or changing the way you eat, or the way that your drinking style, or heck, even doing drugs, right? There's so many different things that we can start to either allow or shift away from, depending on how much we allow this person in front of us to influence us. So when we start to notice this, it's really important to just bring awareness first and foremost and go, okay, oh crap, I think I might be losing myself a little bit here, and just start to pull back a little bit, right? And start to really ask yourself, what is it about me that is feeling like the person that I wasn't good enough? What is it about me that I feel that I need to actually change myself to be able to hold on to this relationship? Because the truth is, as the person that you met in the beginning, the person that you were so wowed by and excited by, he really fell in love or fell attracted to the person that you were in the beginning, not the person that you're contortioning yourself into now, right? And this is what can really happen, is we start to contortion ourselves, or we start changing who we are, and next thing we know, we're this other version of ourselves that it's not even recognizable, right? Maybe we even start talking different, or acting different, or holding off bits of our personality that that he doesn't really like as much, right? And then we forget all the beautiful things that make us who we are, and the things that make him actually attracted to you in the first place. And here's the craziest part, right? Is that the fear, this usually happens with all fears, the biggest fear that you have about actually having this, oh my gosh, I just forgot what the fear was. But having this fear is actually what actually perpetuates this happening in real life, right? If you're afraid of losing yourself in the relationship, we tend to continue to try and mitigate and either hold them at arm's distance, or we start to just change who we are to make sure that we're holding on to the relationship because we're afraid of losing it. And so we have to make sure that we're coming into relationships from a place of detachment. And as much as we can, even when we're falling into that place of falling in love and feeling like, oh God, this is totally outside my comfort zone here, still leaning on the things that make us feel like us. Because that is the foundation. That is what makes us who we are, is the foundation of the things that we are outside of the relationship, right? The hobbies that you do, the activities that bring your soul to life, the girlfriends that you cherish and that really just bring you so much joy in your life. These are the things that you want to continue to lean on, even though the relationship is progressing forward, and not sacrificing, so that when those times come where things get a little bit rocky, you can know that you've got this as your backbone, and you've got this as your foundation. And when you do that, you're setting yourself up for not losing yourself in the relationship, and also in maintaining that attraction that was in the beginning, right? The things that really bring you to life of who you are and make you the person that he really wants to spend time with. And I know for me, it's been interesting to follow my journey as I've grown and evolved and experienced myself in lots of different partnership levels with my partner. And I have noticed myself shift and evolve and let some things go and add in new things and try in things. And it's a beautiful part of evolving and becoming our better selves. But one thing that's come forward for me that I've realized is that I really let go of doing some of the hobbies that I used to do. And not because I was losing myself in the relationship, but more because I just didn't feel like it was a priority, right? I felt like I wanted to spend more time with the relationship, and so I didn't make playing water polo as much of a priority anymore. And in the recent years, after coming back from traveling, I've realized, and I've been thinking about this, of like, what are the things that really make me come alive, that really just make my heart and soul just fully just thrive? And one of those things is playing water polo. And just recently I found a water polo group, and I just got in the water. I brought out my swimsuit that I had had from college. I used to play on a college team. I put that baby back on, and I just felt like $1,000,000. It was like a whole nother part of my essence of who I was came back online. And when I came home, I was just so vibrant. I was so in my essence. I was so fully me in a whole nother way that I hadn't been in a long time. And in an essence that Spencer really hasn't actually seen. He's never seen the side of me that is a badass water polo player that's gonna pummel people to the ground and just like totally take names and score goals and all of that. It's just been a whole nother identity that I kind of let go of for a really long time. And bringing back that identity has just brought in this richness into my essence, even more than I already feel that I have. And it's allowed us to just even be able to bond and deepen our relationship even more, right? I didn't think that I could deepen it as much as even more than getting married and all of that, but being able to deepen it into bringing in and infusing in these hobbies and these interests and these things outside of the relationship is what really actually cultivates a much more deeper connection. And he and I are able to talk about the things that we do outside of the relationship and the ways that we are, the things we're learning and the experiences that we're having, and we can infuse that into actually admiring and attracting each other even more. So I want to really just leave you with this takeaway, is that if you're afraid of being lost in your relationship or losing your identity in your relationship, this is really natural and common. And yet it's also extremely important to stay aware of and to be very cognizant of not happening. And the ways that we do this is by continuing to prioritize ourselves outside of the relationship, even when things are getting good, even when you really just want to spend all your time with him and just soak up every minute of his energy, still making that time to prioritize yourself and to do the things that light you up outside of the relationship. Because relationships are not meant to make you happy. They are the icing on the cake, okay? And so we have to make sure that we are bringing our full self into the relationship and maintaining that throughout the relationship, so that we don't end up waking up one day 5 months, 6 months down the road, 10 years down the road and wondering who and where did I go? So comment down below some of the things that really light up your heart and soul. I would love to hear it. And if this is something you want to explore deeper with, just DM me or send me an email and we can talk about how to really help bring back some of that fire and some of that passion into yourself so that you can then infuse that into your relationship.